Roosh Scumbaugh Jr. uploads another scathing video to YouTube. Once again, the so-called President of the United States, Debbie Smith, pulls a boneheaded stunt that leaves me totally baffled. Last year, she sixed her friends the Sabari on the Chinese, and as a result, over 236 million people were slaughtered. Fellow human beings killed by aliens. And now I learn that she has allowed another group of aliens, the Rebecos, to take up residence at Mars colony. Think about that. She lets aliens take our own colony instead of keeping it in the hands of only humans. That bitch is an absolute traitor to all of humanity.
What's so funny, James?
It's just ridiculous how RSJ talks. The Chinese tried to take Mars colony by force, and the Sabari helped us fight them off. No doubt, if Debbie was a Republican, RSJ would be praising her to high heaven for busting up the Chinese and only losing one American life in the process. But as a Democrat, she can do no right in his eyes. There are no absolute standards with people like him.
Meanwhile, on the planet Mars.
Congratulations on being commissioned as a captain in the American Space Force, Overthrow. Now, raise your right hand and repeat this oath of allegiance after me. I, Overthrow, do swear that I will faithfully obey the United States Constitution and be willing to stand against all enemies of the United States government, both foreign and domestic. I, Overthrow, do swear that I will faithfully obey the United States Constitution and be willing to stand against all enemies of the United States government, both foreign and domestic.
Excellent. Now we will proceed to have all the other Rebecos here on Mars take the same oath. After this, you will all be American citizens. President Aklas, as you ordered, my battle fleet, in cooperation with Earth ships, has gone back to every system known to be occupied by Orange Rebeco clones, including the one with Rebecon itself. And we have confirmed that all the Rebeco clones are dead, and therefore the Rebeco Empire is no more. Excellent. So the Orange Rebecos are no threat to us. Nor to the Yellow Rebeco refugees that were rescued 10,000 years ago and taken to Mars. I want you to take my largest ship to Mars and meet with representatives of those refugees. No doubt, they will relish the chance to return to the world that is rightfully theirs. As you command, my president.
So the Yellow Rebeco refugees are adapting to life on Mars, just as I hoped, Mother Debbie.
Good, I'm so glad things turned out so well. And I am so proud of you for coming up with a plan to save those refugees.
It was the only way I could tolerate the genocide the Sabari were committing against the Orange Rebecos. Though I do understand that if the Sabari had not acted as they did, the Orange Rebecos might eventually have conquered both Earth and the Sabari homeworld. Evidence was found that they actually conquered and exterminated the native race of a distant planet in their empire. So they actually got what they deserved.
What goes around comes around.
Congratulations on being elected the new leader of your people, Doric. The outcome was obvious, since I was the only candidate. No one else saw fit to run for the office. However, you as governor of Mars colony are still my superior, at least as long as we Rebecos stay here. I am hoping in a few months we will be able to return to Rebecon and start the repopulation of it. I miss it so much. I know, but I am still thankful you and all the others came here. The work you Rebecos have done has made this colony stronger than ever. Even after you leave, the work you did will be remembered. And we learned so much from you.
Jennifer, I am so glad you decided to come reside at the Smith-Wilson mansion and bring your twins with you.
It seemed like the obvious choice after you told me of the science teaching position opening up at the high school. The same one you once taught at, Father James, so it seemed only natural that I follow in your footsteps.
Alex, I think we need to take matters in our own hands if we want to stop the leftist agenda of Debbie Smith. Slamming her via blog posts and videos online are not enough. She can ignore those, so we need to do something she can't ignore.
Of course, Roosh. I and my militia here are yours to command. So what is your plan, my president? Charles McKinsey and Michael Jefferson have sold their home in Dallas, Texas, and moved with Sandy Sims Hudson, Jennifer Smith, Pelly Smith, and Florence Smith to live in the Smith-Wilson mansion at the edge of the town in East Texas. Thanks for letting us all move here. As we are getting older and also caring for our granddaughter and her cousins, Michael and I were increasingly concerned about the high crime rate in Dallas. Now we feel safer. I'm glad you could join us. We could certainly use a dedicated gardener like Michael. This place is perfect for us to set up a little farm of our own, Sandy.
So what crops are we going to grow here? How about tomatoes? We can buy several of them from a local grocery store and plant their seeds here to grow dozens of tomato plants. Could we also grow apples? Those might be more popular and therefore more profitable. So we could supply food to the Tuscany Tavern and be paid for it. Once Michael tells us what crops he and the kids will grow, of course. Sure. If the kids don't eat the food they grow first.
Jennifer and her twin daughters, Pelly and Florence, go shopping to get tomatoes and many other items.
Uncle Michael said tomatoes would be easiest for us to grow and harvest. We just need to buy 3 or 4 of them and extract the seeds from them. That's right. Tomatoes are a good starting crop. Mother, I have a question. Grandfather James was telling me in Florence yesterday about how you once lived in a cave with very different people. Did those people include the 2 buried at the edge of the backyard? No, they had nothing to do with me. The ones I grew up with never lived here at all. That seems like a life that wasn't ever mine at all. And yet you named me and Pelly after 2 of these cave people? You must have loved and remembered them. Could you tell us more about them? Mama, how long will it be before the baby is born? I'm so happy to become a big sister.
I think I have 3 or 4 months to go. And when the baby is born, I will need your help to take care of it.
Growlick the caveman enters the cave. He is the mate of the cave woman, Pellabong, and the father of the cave girl, then called Jen, and the unborn child who will be named Mac. I hope you will like snake meat. I killed 5 snakes. They were all together mating.
I have eaten snakes before. Jen and I gathered leaves and fruit to make a salad. Maybe we can add some snake meat after it is all cooked.
Mother has been teaching me how to cut with a knife. Maybe after the baby is born I can start hunting with you, Papa.
Sure, but remember that your mother and her baby's needs come first. Your mother is the reason you live.
Your mother is the reason you live. How true that was. Pelly and Florence, when we get home I will tell you stories about my past life. It's something I left behind but it is still important. Father James, I will always be grateful that you took me with you to live in the 21st century. My life here is just wonderful. But now the twins are asking questions about my original life in a cave. I wonder if I should take them back in time to meet their original grandparents.
You will have to ask Richard and Diana about that. They own the USS Sandy now, which they have renamed the USS Sandy Smith, after my mother. Indeed, they will make an entire room that will be devoted to my mother's life. She was such an incredible lady, an inspiration to all of us.
I wish I could remember her like you do.
Debbie and Carrie are planning a vacation. They discuss options with others.
So where should we go?
Good question. I'm open to suggestions. As you know, my brother Matthew was diagnosed with a terminal case of cancer last month. I want to visit him one last time before he passes away. So maybe all of us should go together to Los Angeles. I know we are all getting older but I am so sick of loved ones dying. Richard has already told me that he, Diana, and Sandy will be going there too. Let's all 7 of us go there, pay our respects to Matthew and Carla, and then proceed with fun activities. So we will fly to Los Angeles and stay in the mansion owned by Aunts Suzanne and Laura. Mother Carla will be there. She and Matthew moved into it after your mothers and my aunts won their election. And now Father Matthew is dying.
At least he lived a full life. And has you and your siblings as a proud legacy. Note, Tommy Hudson, who was the youngest brother of Matthew and Suzanne, died in 2071 alongside his wife when they both were infected with Asian flu at the time of the 2070s pandemic. Debbie, Carrie, Suzanne and Laura are all going to Los Angeles. They are taking Air Force One, the jet plane made to transport the President of the United States and their staff where they need to go.
I have ordered the plane's pilot to stop at DFW Airport and pick up Richard, Diana, and our granddaughter Sandy. They will be waiting for us at Terminal A, Gate 16.
It seems so easy to enjoy the abilities your being president gives us.
True, but I only have those powers because millions of American voters saw fit to give me the position. I owe them for that. The moment I forget I am a public servant instead of a ruler is the moment I am no longer fit for this job. Speaking of that, are you going to run for another term this year, Debbie? I don't see why not. There is so much that I can do and so much I could teach the American people over the next 2 or 3 years. Of course, this will still be the last time I can run for re-election.
Note, in the Debbie and Carrie timeline, a constitutional amendment was ratified that completely changed the way presidents of the United States were to be elected. The 22nd Amendment limiting presidents to 2 terms was repealed, and the new amendment required presidents to run for election every 2 years rather than every 4 years, eliminating the issue of midterm elections. It also limited the president's age to 75 years. Debbie is currently age 72, but will be 73 at the time of the next election in November 2080. And yes, this was all because of the absolute disaster that was Donald Trump's presidency. And the presidency of Joe Biden that came between Trump's 2 terms that was only slightly better. Thanks for picking us up, Mother Carrie.
Of course. Diana and Sandy, follow me.
And so they all board the plane.
Mother, this is more cramped than flying in the ship named after my great-grandmother. Why not just use that to go to places around the world? Because that would be even more expensive than flying around in a plane like this.
Maybe someday you will own that ship, Sandy. Then you may do as you like with it. As long as you can pay for it.
I haven't even thought of what sort of career I will have as an adult. I seem to be surrounded by geniuses and I'm not that smart. You shouldn't compare yourself with others, Sandy. Not even the one you were named after. We all have special abilities. You just have to find yours. Once you find something you love doing more than anything else, you will become unstoppable.
Air Force One lands at Los Angeles, and soon Debbie and Carrie, along with their son Richard and his family, arrive at the mansion owned by Suzanne and Laura. They are greeted by Carla Hudson.
Welcome back, my daughter.
Carla then hugs her granddaughter Sandy.
I just wish we were meeting under better circumstances. How is Grandfather Matthew?
He is taking his physical decline one day at a time. The cancer that started in his liver has spread to every other organ in his abdomen. The chemotherapy caused him to lose all his hair and he has been given 1 month to live.
That's why we decided that instead of attending his funeral, we would come see him one last time while he is still alive. Can he see visitors now?
Yes. He is in hospice now. We will allow 1 person at a time to see him and for a maximum of 10 minutes each.
Then I will go first. Then Diana will go next and finally Sandy. How are you feeling, Matthew?
Terrible. I've been coughing up blood and I have almost no energy. I have considered ending my life early, but knowing the grief Carla would go through as a result stops me.
Is that a Bible on the table there? I will remove it for you.
No. Leave it there. I actually read from it every day. It was left there by the last patient who was in this room and died here. And I have decided to become Christian. I say prayers to God every evening before I go to sleep and then every morning after I wake up. I find praying to be a great comfort.
Suzanne then leaves, and one by one, Carla, Diana and finally Sandy see Matthew too. Later, Suzanne, Carla, Diana and Sandy eat in the hospital's cafeteria.
I'm guessing that Matthew has gotten religion only because that is his way of facing death. But Carla, I can't be like that. I am not saying you have to believe or do like Matthew or anyone else. Just respect his feelings. I was myself raised Catholic, but even though I have not attended a Catholic church since I was a teen, I never abandoned that faith. My love for Matthew had nothing to do with my religion, or his lack thereof. That's why I was glad to have us attend a Unitarian Universalist church. We could stay together despite our differences. There is no way in a million years I could be Christian, let alone Catholic. My own readings of the Bible turned me off from having faith in God. And of course, Richard was a dedicated atheist from childhood. Gee, I'd think the choice for myself was obvious. But if you and Father Richard are both atheists, am I really making a choice? Good question. As you get older, you may find yourself making decisions on your own about such matters. Blindly following your parents is a mistake regardless of their beliefs.
Meanwhile, back in Washington, D.C.
Our militia forces are ready to strike at your command, Mr. Scumbaugh.
Good. We will wait until sundown, and then around midnight we will storm the White House. Our goal is to invade it and take it over. Once Debbie Smith is disposed of, I will be in charge. It is now nighttime at Washington, D.C., and so the militia assembled by Roosh Scumbaugh Jr. begins their assault on the White House. Note, this episode is dedicated to the police officers who had to deal with the rioters at the U.S. Capitol building on January 6, 2021. And so it begins.
They did it. Our militia have smashed through the gate in front of the White House with a truck. Now they are pouring through the opening.
Yes! Let's follow them inside. And later.
We are the People's Liberation Militia. Where's President Smith?
She and her wife went to Los Angeles for a vacation.
And what about the Vice President?
She and her wife have also left for vacation at the same place. It's just me, the press secretary, and a few others here. You caused this? Have you gone mad, RSJ? You have damaged public property, killed or injured several members of the Secret Service, and trespassed on federal government territory. You are a criminal. So were the founding fathers of this country, according to the British authorities in 1776. Now I am taking what should have been mine to begin with. The very idea of that atheist lesbian bitch ruling over us was outrageous. That ends now. And, of course, you are fired. Take him into a room and lock him up. RSJ then has a camera set up to broadcast a message which will be uploaded to YouTube. Greetings, my fellow Americans. This is Roosh Scumbaugh Jr., announcing from the White House itself that I am now in charge here. Debbie Smith is gone and I will be taking over to lead America on the right path, the path of prosperity, the path of traditional values. No more subversive leftist crap. No more selling America out to aliens. I am now the new President of the United States. But that's a blatant lie if there ever was one.
This is President Debbie Smith. Who is calling? And why are you calling me in the middle of the night?
This is General Philippe at the Pentagon, Madam President. I apologize for the disturbance, but we just heard that a militia has invaded and taken over the White House. They are led by Roosh Scumbaugh Jr., who is now claiming to be the new president.
What? That's ridiculous. You don't become president by occupying the White House. You become president by being elected according to the standards of the U.S. Constitution. And as an officer of the United States Army, you took an oath to uphold the Constitution, right?
Indeed, I did, Madam President. So what are your orders?
Send Army troops to take back the White House, of course. Oh, and also, I want Scumbaugh taken alive. I want to personally deal with him once I return from vacation. Is that clear?
Yes. It will be done.
And so the next morning, and finally, after dozens of militia members and several soldiers are killed.
Roosh Scumbaugh Jr., you are under arrest.
What? You should be obeying me, not fighting me. I thought I was doing you a favor by ridding you of that atheist lesbian.
I may not personally approve of her sexuality or her atheism, but those are irrelevant, you idiot. When you broke into this place, you broke the law, and so you will be punished.
And so the attempted coup is abruptly ended. Epilogue. Debbie confronts RSJ in jail. What are you doing here?
You tried to overthrow me, so now I will settle things between us once and for all. You know, you could have waited until the next election to have a rematch with me and you might even have won, but instead you pulled what will surely be remembered as one of the most infamous stunts in American history. You idiotic right-wing bigots have learned nothing from your past mistakes and failures, so there is only one way to deal with your crap. Through violence.
Driven by her intense rage, Debbie continues to pound on RSJ mercilessly, until finally. This is not the way it was supposed to go.
You thought a sweet little old lady like me wouldn't bust your ass? I have proven you wrong, asshole. And I've dealt with far worse than you in the past, so you are nothing new. I can't wait to see you go to prison, and after that you will never be a political threat to me, or America, ever again.
In the aftermath of Roosh Scumbaugh Jr.'s coup attempt, Debbie and Carrie look on social media to learn who supported the coup. Right after I was freed by the army, I looked at social media accounts of several Republican members of Congress. And I found statements like this. Congrats to the new President of the United States. Now maybe we can undo all the progressive crap that Debbie Smith favored.
Could I become RSJ's new Attorney General?
How about we bring the former president up on criminal charges?
Ugh. It's like they have no regard for the U.S. Constitution. We should file criminal charges against those Republicans and remove them from Congress. Indeed, the screenshots Jason Laker got are clear evidence for sedition, a crime against the state itself. I will file the charges and send FBI agents to arrest the Congress members who supported the coup attempt.
And so about a dozen members of Congress, all Republicans, are arrested and jailed, awaiting trial. And the media reacts to this. Good evening and welcome to the Nightly News. President Debbie Smith has launched a crackdown on political dissent, arresting Republicans in Congress for saying bad things about her on the internet. Has she never heard of the First Amendment, which protects freedom of speech? Could this be the start of an all-out effort to purge the federal government of all Republicans? Stay tuned, as we continue to cover these efforts.
I'm so glad you are joining our school. I understand your father also taught in this class. That's right. I'm happy to follow in his footsteps. I do have a question, though. My niece Sandy will be in this class. If I am teaching her, wouldn't that be nepotism? Good question. It's only a problem if you are grading her tests and thus enabling her to cheat by altering her test grades. So what you do is give Sandy's science tests to me along with their answer keys and I will grade them. Understood, Principal Randall. Good morning, class. I am Jennifer Smith and I will be your science teacher. As Jennifer Smith adjusts to life as a high school science teacher, her twin daughters do the same in the town's elementary school.
Good morning, Class, I am William Blake and I will be your math teacher. Let us begin roll call. Pelly Smith and Florence Smith, I want to see you two after class.
Gee, are we doing something wrong?
I don't want you two sitting together after today. Instead, I will provide seating charts for all students that will be strictly enforced. You will have to sit with new partners.
But why? We are twins and we have always done things together.
Well, here you must learn to do things independently. Socializing with other children in cooperative activities will benefit you.
We are twins, Pelly. That teacher is trying to make us deny a part of our own identity. Are you sure you want to complain about this to our mother? We can always be together at home and everywhere else. That's not the point. We should be treated the same everywhere.
Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C. So that is my proposal for this year's congressional agenda. A reduced defense budget, replaced by more efforts to pay off student loan debt, will help the next generation's education.
Very convenient of you to do this after removing some of your opposition last week.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the simple fact that you arrested several Republicans of Congress and even denied them bail, preventing them from continuing to represent their people. What happened to the right of free speech?
Those Republicans took an oath to uphold the U.S. Constitution. When they came out in support of RSJ's coup attempt, they broke that oath, so they must be held accountable for that. If it had been Democrats attempting a coup against a Republican president, would you have a problem with the president rounding up Democrats supporting the coup? Freedom cannot be absolute. That's anarchy, and human rights cannot exist in that case. Criticism of those in government is what's protected by the First Amendment. But supporting the overthrow of the government crosses a line the Constitution itself cannot allow. And in Houston, Texas,
Uncle James, 20 years ago, we completed and then launched this ship and it changed our lives. So now what are we doing with it? I'm thinking we should try using it for time travel missions like we did before. We could fill gaps in our historical knowledge. Indeed. When summer comes, we can even take Sandy, Pelly, and Florence with us. They could then have an advantage over other students in history courses because they have lived history. Exactly. I'm sure they will love what we could offer them with this ship.
Pelly and Florence arrive home from school and have a talk with their mother about their math teacher's demands.
I don't understand how forcing us apart in class can be good for us. As twins, is it not natural to rely on each other? Of course, but I actually think the teacher is right. Part of growing up is to learn to be independent of your parents and even your siblings. Learning to cooperate with others is an important part of socialization. When I was your age, my best friend was my little brother, Mac. We stayed close for many years, but as we grew older we drifted apart until Mac made the decision to separate himself completely to live his own life. You never have talked about Mac before. Did you two have a falling out? No, we always got along. He and I just made different choices in life. And that's okay. I am happy with how I turned out.
Richard and I have decided to start using the USS Sandy Smith for time travel missions. Maybe we could take you and the twins to visit your and Mac's original time, 100,000 years ago.
Sure, I would love to see how Mac, Anna, Papa Grolic and Mama Pillabong are doing now.
Then we will go this summer.
Roosh Scumbaugh Jr., in exchange for your pleading guilty for sedition, you are hereby sentenced to 12 years in prison, plus you will be permanently banned from running for any political office under the United States of America. Do you accept the terms of the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, since the alternative was me receiving a life sentence with no chance of parole. I just don't want to die in prison.
Good. Let's hope all goes well for you, then.
Being the head of the Secret Service is a lot harder than I expected. You get death threats via social media every day, plus the Secret Service, along with the FBI and the local police forces, have thwarted 3 assassination attempts on you since you took office. You are truly hated, Debbie.
As was my mother when she was mayor of the Texas town we used to live in. When you are dedicated to serving the people, as both she and I have been, you make powerful enemies. But my mother defeated her enemies and made things better in the town. And I can do no less for all of America.